Krasta Kraja Muri Puri Machurim Goshva Radha Kunda Vanibadam Aurarika Marvasam Ratoyas Pratitya Sri Guru Tantus Gurave Kaura Chandrai Radhikaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leela Manaya Vikahaya Hema Bhadevyastavi Sundaraya Tasmai Maha Prema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bheda-abheda First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadir Parmaratatam Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishna Om Vishnupada, Ashtotara Satasvi, Rupanuga Charivaya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, and to Srila Prabhupada, to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpas, Pasantu Vyavta, Mukitana Pavane Go Vaishnavi Go. Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai. So yesterday, we were hearing how Srila Jiva Gosvami being empowered by his Gurudev, Srila Rupa Goswami, he is describing the tattva of Bhagavan in Bhagavad Sandarbhas. We heard about the transcendental Swarup of Sri Krishna, which itself is the Advaya Gyan Tattva, the non-dual, complete reality. Koveti Bhuman, Bhagavan Paratman, Yogeshwaroti Bhagavastrilokyam, Kvava Katamba Kativa Kadeti, Vistarayan Kridasi Yogamayam. Oh, this form is all pervading, all powerful, having inconceivable potency. No one will know where he will manifest, how he will manifest, how many times or to what degree he will manifest, and when. So wonderful. So, having established that the Swarup of Sri Krishna is not material, now he will describe how everything related to his Swarup, such as his birth, his activities, his ornaments, his Nam, Gun, Leela, associates, everything, they are all of the same transcendental nature. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 8th canto, chapter 3, 8:3-8. So there it is said, Na vidyate yasya cha janma karma va nama rupe guna dosha eva va tatapi lokapyaya sambhavaya ya somaya ya tan anukalam richati. Here, na vidyate yasya na janma karma. Bhagavan has no birth. Karma. He has no action. He has no name. He has no form. He has no gun, qualities, that means virtues, or vices, faults, gun or dosh. However, for the purpose of creating and destroying this material world, he accepts these perpetually by his internal potency. Now, some impersonalists may say, just see, actually Bhagavan has no body, he has no birth, no form, no activities, no name, form, qualities and pastimes. Only the impersonal, he becomes personal to make the world. Yeah? This is not the meaning. Why? We have to understand the definitions of these words. The Supreme Lord has no birth. That means that if something undergoes a change of state, it's called vikar, a transformation of state. So, in the physical body, when the various organs all come together inside the womb of the mother, and then this body is pushed out from the womb into the world, this change of state is called janma. Right? So does Krishna have janma or not? No. Because here janma means the soul is embodied in a physical form whose from the ingredients of the food of the mother has been collected together and manifests the various organs and now was pushed out. So when it is said the Supreme Lord has no birth, that means he doesn't have this conventional meaning of the word birth. Now, the Supreme Lord has no karma. What does karma mean? Actually, even in Sanskrit grammar, if there's, you have the nominative case, in every language you have nominative case and accusative case, the subject and the object. So the object in Sanskrit is not called the object, or for the accusative case, it's called karma. It's called karma. In other words, what you do to get an object that you don't have because you are lacking, you are insufficient, incomplete person, and so you're performing an activity to get something that you don't have. That is called karma. So when it is said that the Supreme Lord has no jhana and now no karma, it means he does not have this. Then, na vidite yasya na janma karma va na nama rupe. The Supreme Lord has no name. So then we'll have to know the definition of a name. Mano grayasya vastuno vyavahar artham kenapi sanketitaha shabdo nameti. This is the definition of a name in the conventional world, in the conventional sense in this world. Okay, so sanketitaha shabdo, a verbal symbol. Just like you can write a symbol that means something. Like if you make a cross, it means plus. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Right? So when we speak and we give a name to someone, it's like it's a audible symbol that represents that person. So a verbal symbol which is used to designate an object which is perceptible to the material mind is called a name. So when we say Krishna has no name, this means name according to the conventional definition, a verbal symbol which is applied for the sake of designating an object which is perceptible by your material mind is called a name. So does Krishna have a name? No. He has no name. If we take this conventional meaning of the word name. So then, Krishna, this verse is saying, Nanama Rupe. The Supreme Lord has no form, group. So, here Rup means, you know, there are elements. There is the material element of sound from which comes space, and then the material element of touch from which comes air, and then the material element Rup from which comes fire. You see? So, and because the Surya Dev is present in the eye, so you are able to perceive something, and he is present in the object also. So, the property of an object which is perceived by the eyes is called Rup, form or color. So, does Krishna have Rup? No. This is the meaning. So then, the Supreme Lord has no gun. Nama rupe guna dosha eva. So what is the meaning of gun? A specifying characteristic that gives eminence to any object. An object becomes glorious or it's glorified, it's recognized for having this characteristic. And so that characteristic by which an object is specified and which springs from the material gunas is called gun and attribute. So does the Supreme Lord have any quality which comes from the gunas? No. So here it said he has no gunas, no virtues. So the virtues come from sattva. So none of these things can exist in Bhagavan. Why? Because he is always situated in his own transcendental swarup, which is complete. So he has no karma, there's nothing for him to achieve. It is not perceptible by the mind, not perceptible by the eye, because he's self-luminous. He reveals himself to the purified conscious of the Jiva. But nevertheless, he accepts them when he appears in this world. Because when that transcendental Swarup of Supreme Lord is manifest in this world, becomes prakat, then even ordinary people can see him. But they don't actually see his transcendental form. They see one covered like a snake has a skin that he can give up. So see, Krishna is covered, Sapakanchuli, but he is covered by a material covering, like the skin of a snake, and the materialists, they see that. So now we've discussed how Krishna's form, his Swarup is transcendental, his birth and activities are transcendental. So how can his actions be transcendental in the sense of everything which is transcendental is eternal? So an action is momentary. You're either doing it or not doing it. So see, Krishna's actions are transcendental because in unlimited prakashas, in unlimited manifestations of himself, in unlimited universes, he's performing those actions. So for example, on this earth, he's being born. And now you can say, well, this is not eternal because now he's being born, so it's over. No. At the same moment, the next moment, in another universe, he's being born. And if you say that's over, no, it's being born in another universe, and another one. So each action, he's killing Putana, he's drinking the breast milk of his mother, he's being bound by Madhya Shoda, pulling down the Yama Arjun trees. Even though it seems that they're passing actions from this perspective in this world, but all these leelas are eternal because they're always present in some universe somewhere. Now, how can we say that Krishna's name is eternal? So, now we want to do a very profound deliberation on Nam Tattva, as presented by Srila Jiva Gosvami based on Srimad Bhagavatam. It's so important because every day you sit down in the morning with your japamala and now we chant. But what are we doing? What is this mantra? Is it like abracadabra? Is it a magic spell? What is it? So, one should not be sentimental and superstitious. Try to understand what it means. Krishna Nam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the first thing Srila Jiva Goswami is saying is that this name of Krishna, or any name of Krishna, is Vailakshana, Vailakshanyam. That means it's different in characteristics from all the names of this world. So the first thing you have to do is, there are so many names of different people and places, proper nouns in this world, and among them, the name of Krishna is not there. It's Vailakshana, completely different category. So don't include Krishna's name in your category of the list of the names of everything else. So what are the characteristics by which Krishna's name is different? So first of all, it is Van Manasa Agochara. Man means, Manasa, means mind. And Van means Vak here. It is Van, that that means speech, manasa, agochara. Gochara means perceptible or receivable. So it's agochara. This name cannot be perceived by the mind and cannot be accepted in the form of speech. So this is a name that the material tongue cannot say. So if someone is saying Krishna with the material tongue, then actually this is not Krishna's name. As Sri Jagannath Pandita said in Prem Asadu Sangha by Krishna Nam Nai Hai. Without associating with sadhus, then you cannot chant Krishna's name. Nama Kshara Bahirai. Bhaktu Nama Kabu Nai. The outer syllables, the akshara, the letters which are bahir, the outer form of the letters is not the name. Though the name is in the form of akshara, it's the form, actually in the form of letters. But these letters, which are uttered by a person who is not in sadhu sangha, not surrendered to Gurudev, not under the shelter of the internal potency, this is not Krishna's name. So, it is Vailakshanyam, not in the category of any worldly name, and it is Van Manasa Gochara. It is not perceptible or acceptable by speech and mind. So then the next name is Swataha Siddha. Swataha Siddha means self-existent. Oh. This phrase, Swata Siddha, is so deep. Self-existent. We take it lightly. Oh yes, self-existent. But it has such profound implications. You see, because all the forms that we see around us, they're not self-existent. They're divisible. They're made of parts. So when the parts come together, it makes the form. And after some time, the parts separate and they go here and there, and now the form no longer exists. So the form of something which is not self-existent, it is will have in this world physical things which are not self-existent. They have parts, and they are temporary. Whereas that which is self-existent, it must have no parts. Because if it had parts, then the parts would have to be put together to make it exist. There would have to be something else to put the parts together. So that which is self-existent is akhanda, having no parts. And that which is exists, not depending on anything else, and having no parts, then why is its form the way that it is? We can say that the reason a particular form is the way it is because all the parts are put together in that way. But if something has no parts, we cannot explain its form on the basis of its parts. So, if something is self-existent and akhanda, partless, then its form can only be the result of its own desire. Right? Because it's not of its parts, so it must be of its own desire. It cannot be of someone else's desire because it's self-existent. So its form is only due to its own icha, own desire. Now look, if something has a form which is only the expression of its own desire, that means between the desire and the reality there's no intermediation. If there's some clay here on the table and I want to make a statue of a man, then my hands are instrumental, they have to move and make the clay into the form that I wanted to be. Right? So there's a mediation between my desire and the form. But what happens if there was a clay there and I just said, Fiat lux, let there be light. And the clay just went boom, and there it was. I cannot do that. Why? Because I'm not all-powerful. So that being who is indivisible, who is self-existent, and whose characteristics are the expression of his own desire, means that his form is not mediated by another instrument, means that that person is what? Omnipotent. Because reality is what he wants it to be. If reality is whatever you want, then you are omnipotent. So there is only one self-existent being, that is God, and everything else is dependent on Him. So being self-existent means it is consubstantial with being omnipotent. Whatever is self-existent is omnipotent. So now here, just see, Srila Jiva Gosvami is saying the name of Krishna is Svatasiddha, self-existent. It's not created by anyone. You cannot, it's not created by your tongue when you say it. So, if this name is Svatasiddha, self-existent, what does it mean? That the name is omnipotent. We're saying. So, Namakari Bahudani Jasava Shakti, all Shaktis, omnipotent. They are there naturally in the name. Because name is Svatasiddha. Understand? It is not something that the general person thinks about because we're used to dealing with things which are divisible and which have contingent existence. Their existence is contingent upon other factors. Self-existence is not something that we come across. So we just don't think about it. But it's a axiomatic fact that that which is self-existent must be omnipotent. So because God is self-existent, is omnipotent, and because His name is self-existent, the name of God is non-different from Him and also omnipotent. So Svatasiddha. So now, in the Brahma Purana, there it is said, Anamaso prasiddhatvat rupo bhuta varajanat. The meaning is that the Lord is said to be Anama, nameless. Because the transcendental nature of His name is unknown. He is said to be formless, because His form is not made of material elements. So that's the reconciliation. This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says He has no name, but here in the Brahma Purana it's being clarified. He said He has no name because He has no material name, and formless because He has no material form. So the way in which one should understand His name has been described in the Vishnu Purana. So there are two verses in the Vishnu Purana which are very, very important. Nayatra nata vidyante nama jatyadi kaupnaha tad brahma paramam nityam avikari bhavan aja na kalpana rite tasya sarvasyadi gamoyata tata krishna chutananta vishnu namavid idyase. So, the meaning is here, Tad Brahma Paramam Nityam, you can see in the second line, that the absolute truth, the Brahma means the greatest. Brahmati Brahmayati, He who expands unlimited, who is great and also makes others great. He's called Brahma. So, that Brahma is Nitya, Nityam, eternal, and Avikari, immutable. He cannot be transformed. And Aja, he is unborn. And in him, Nayatranata, Vidyante, there is not in him Nama Jatya Kalpana. There is no Kalpana, no thought construction of Nam, Jati, etc. So, when we speak, we use words. And our words are in 4 categories. That is, they are either describing a jati, a category itself, a jati, like man, horse, house. So those are things that have manness, horseness, houseness. So these are jatis, samanya, universals. Or dravya. Dravya means a substance. So substance like earth, water, fire. Or a gun, a quality, like hot, cold, soft, sweet. Or kriya, that means an activity, like walking, jumping, sleeping, talking, looking. So the words that we use, they describe a jati, dravya, gun, or kriya. And we identify these things through vikalpa. So we were discussing, the philosophy is building day by day. So yesterday we discussed the difference between nirvikalpaka pratyaksh and savikalpaka pratyaksh. So first, when you experience something, it's a raw, unfiltered experience, like a baby. And when the intelligence is developed, the intelligence moves and identifies what jati, what category that object is in. So when you say anything, oh, this is, you can say this is a red man carrying wood. There. So all the jati was there, he was a man, his quality, he was very red. And his career is there, he's carrying, and what is he carrying? Some dravya, some substance, some wood, like this. So you are speaking, but this ability to speak and describe what is going on, you are using words which describe jati, gun, dravya and kriya, and it happens when the intelligence identifies these categories. So vikalpa takes place, and then you see uninterpreted. Then vikalpa takes place, and then you give some words to it. The man who is red is carrying some wood, like that. So all these words that we are using, they come after vikalpa has taken place. They are ascribed to the object to signify different aspects of it by the movement of the mind. So here he's saying that Nama Jata Kalpana, in the Supreme Lord there is no kalpana of name, jati, dravya, kriya, etc. So many people, they translate this as, in the Lord there's no name, there's no category, there's no activity, but that's not what it's saying. It's saying there's no kalpana of a name. There's a big difference. So, in the next verse of Vishnu Purana, it's saying that Na kalpana ritirtasya sarvasya adigamo yata, which means that actually without kalpana or vikalpa, without this movement of the intelligence, you can't understand anything. Right? You would be like a child just born, not understanding anything, or like a completely deaf and dumb retarded person with no intelligent functions. So by kalpana, that gives you the capacity to identify or speak about or understand things. And without that, how would you understand anything? So it is said, then how can we describe God? How can we know anything about God? If there's no kalpana in His name, in His category, His activity or anything. So Vishnu Purana is giving the answer in the last line. Tata, therefore, Krishna, Achyuta, Ananta, Vishnu, Namabhi means by names. Namabhi means by names. Like Krishna, Achyuta, Ananta and Vishnu, Idyasai. Oh my Lord, you are worshipped. So the implication here is that in these names, Krishna, Achyuta, Ananta, Vishnu, these names are Vikalpa Rohita. You can write this down also as a characteristic of the name, Vikalpa Rohita. There's no Vikalpa in these names. Now one may say, no, these names are just like other names. Because when you see a painting or a statue of Krishna, then you look, you don't know what it is, and then your intelligence moves, identifies, and then you give a symbolic sound to indicate this person. So this is Vikalpa. But actually, the Supreme Lord's names such as Krishna, Ananta and Vishnu, they are always His names. They're eternally His names. So, before the universe was created, His name was Krishna, His name was Ananta, His name was Achyuta. And then, when the universe was created, what happened? Mahatattva was manifest, Sutra Tattva, the Mukhya Prana, Ahankar, ego, Buddhi, intelligence, mind, sound. So the names which are coming from Vikalpa depend on Buddhi has to be manifest. And sound has to be manifest. And then someone can give a name to something. But if the Supreme Lord existed before the universe, these were His names before the universe was manifested, how can these names be the product of the movements of that Buddhi and that material Shabda, sound? Understand? In fact, it is said that Lord Brahma, He creates by the power of the Lord's name. So if the name of the Lord is the power by which Brahma creates the universe, then how can this be the product of Buddhi and Shabda? When these things did not even exist, and this name has the power by which Brahma has manifested them. You see? So this is what this verse of the Vishnu Purana is explaining. Now, Srila Jiva Gosvami is elaborating on this. And he's saying that Krishna, Achyuta, Ananta, these are some of the main names of the Supreme Lord. But there are other names as well. And these names, one of their characteristics is Shastreti Prasiddha. Shastreti Prasiddha, that means Shastra Ati Prasiddha. Ati means exceedingly, and Prasiddha means famous. So Ati Prasiddha, extremely famous where? Shastre in the scripture. So Shastre Ati Prasiddha, the one qualification of the names of Supreme Lord is Shastreti Prasiddha. That is Shastre Ati Prasiddha, Shastreti Prasiddha. In the scriptures, they are exceedingly famous. And then another quality of the name, which is amazing, is Jyotiti Pratitaha. Jyotiti. It's a very good name. Jyotiti. It means immediate. Jyotiti. The sound gives you that sense of immediateness. Jyotiti. There and then. Pratita. Pratitaha means that you have an experience. Something becomes disclosed to you. So, the names of Krishna are Jyotiti Pratita, that they give an immediate disclosure to that person of Krishna himself. In other words, they directly and immediately make a spurti, a vision of Krishna in the heart. Jyotiti Pratita. Then, the next quality is Sanketya Davapi Tadrisha Prabhavaha. Sanketya means by Sanket. Sanket means to indicate something. So if someone uses the name of Krishna to indicate something else, just like a Jamil, he called the name Narayan when he was about to die, but he wasn't actually trying to indicate God, he was indicating his son. So Sanketya means when you indicate something, and in this case using the holy name to indicate something else is Sanketya. So Adau means Adi means etc. So Adau means in the case of Sanketya, etc. So there is Namabhas. There are 4 types of Namabhas. Sanketyam Parihastam Bhas Daumam Helam Evava. So Sanketya Dao means in the case of the 4 types of Namabhas. So Adau becomes Adav because the next word is Api. Api here means even. So Sanketya Adav Api. Even in the case of Sanketya, etc., 4 types of Namabhas. Tadrisha. Tadrisha means in the same way. Prabhavaha. Prabhavaha means influence. So Sanketya Davapi Tadrisha Prabhavaha means that it's in relationship to Jyotiti Pratitaha. The holy name of Krishna, which is famous in the scriptures, has the power to immediately make a spurti of Krishna's form in the heart, and Sanketya Davapi Tadrisha Prabhava, even if it's used to indicate something else or any of the other 4 types of Namabhas, Tadrisha, that same Prabhav influence is there. Understand? So, Jyotiti Pratita, the ability to manifest in the heart the form of Krishna is not only for a pure devotee who is chanting the pure name. That power is even there in 4 types of Namabhas. Understand? It's amazing. Amazing. So when you pick up your japa, your hands should be shaking. Oh, it's time for japa. If you just do it consciously, you think about it, what opportunity has mercifully come in our life by the grace of Guru and Gauranga. It's tremendous. So, Jyotiti Pratita. Let's give an example of immediate realization. Once there were 10 people and they're going on a journey. And they got in a boat on one side of the river, they crossed and they got out the boat on the other side, and the leader of the group, he told someone, just count to make sure we're all here, we didn't leave anyone behind. So then one of the persons counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God, only 9. One is missing. He told his friend, I think someone's missing, can you count? And his friend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're right, there's only 9. So they're not so bright. So then some observer came and said to that person who was counting, Dasamas tvam asi. Dasamas tvam asi. Tvam, you, asi, are. Dasama, the 10th person. So this is one kind of logic. It's called the logic of Dasamas Tvamasi. The logic of you are the 10th person. Now what happened was, as soon as he heard, you are the 10th person, then he had immediate realization, I found the missing person, it's me. So this is Jachiti Pratita. Immediate realization comes in the heart. So Nam has this power. So when you consider this quality of the holy name, now you can understand what it means. Vikalpa Rahita. Vikalpa Rahita, to be not a product of Vikalpa, not a product of thought construction. Why? If we examine, the Vikalpa thought construction goes in two directions. Let's say you see an object that you've never seen before. You discovered it. No one has ever seen it before. Like an explorer goes to an island that no one has ever been to, and he finds some kind of creature, an insect or a bird that has never been seen before. So then he has to give a name to it. Right? So what happens is, he has the Nirvikalpa Pratyaksh, then Savikalpa Pratyaksh, and he identifies, oh, this is a bird. And then his buddhi has moved, and then by his intelligence he gives a name, and this name is now a sound symbol which indicates that object. Okay? This is one thing. So then he draws a picture of that bird and the name of it. It's a dodo. So, and then that book goes everywhere. So then everyone reads the book. Then one day someone who has read that book, he comes to the same island. Now the Vikalpa will go the other way. Because what happened when it was going this way, he saw something and his buddhi gave a name to that object. But now this person, he hasn't seen anything, only he's read about it. So now what happens, it's the other way around. Let's say, even that person, he doesn't see the bird. But someone says to him, oh, over there, if you go over there, you will be able to see a dodo bird. Now what happens? He's not seeing the object, he's only hearing the name. Right? And then hearing the name, his buddhi is moving, and now his buddhi is moving and connecting to the picture that he saw in the book. Right? So either a person is giving a name by Vikalpa, or he's hearing a name and giving it and putting it, connecting it to an object by Vikalpa. So either way, it's the movement of Vikalpa. Now, Krishna is not like that. Why? Because he's eternal, existing forever, before the creation. That means that no one ever had a movement of Vikalpa, and let's call him Krishna. So this way, it never happened. Now let's see the other way. Can someone hear the name of Krishna and then put his form to it? So what is being said here, Jachiti Pratita, is no. Because what happens is, as soon as the name touches your consciousness, Krishna, your intelligence does not move and connect it to the form, but Jatiti Pratita, immediately the form appears without the movement of any intelligence. So it's Vikalpa Rohita, Spurti, there and then, even without thinking. So this is, do you understand? Yeah? Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. How Vikalpa goes both ways, and how the name of Krishna, it did not go this way, it was not given to him, and hearing the vibration of his name, you don't connect it to his form, because the name did manifest the form without the intermediation of Vikalpa. So this is why he said, no imagination required. You don't have to sit and strain. Hare Krishna, I'm trying to see Krishna. Like trying to give birth. Push. See people chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just stop pushing. Relax. You are not karta, you are not the doer. Krishna's name is doer. Krishna's name will do everything. You just surrender to name and let him manifest everything. Don't stress. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. A very beautiful Shama Sundar playing his flute, smiling, teasing you, stealing. You will come in the heart. If one is free from aparad, free from offense, and one's heart is attuned with Krishna. But actually we don't know how our heart will be attuned with Krishna. But luckily, one form of Krishna comes in front of us, Gurudev. So if we make our heart one with Gurudev's heart, then Krishna is automatically happy. So by serving Guru, life and soul, having no independence, no ulterior motive, just completely absorbed in serving the mission of Gurudev, then when you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, then that beautiful, shining Yashodananda, son of Yashoda, who is very worried about what his mother thinks, he will come and give darshan. Jatiti pratita. So, these are the ways in which there is the Nam has by Lakshanya. It is completely different from the category of any other word or name that we know of this world. So, let me see. So, therefore, Srila Jiva Gosvami is giving evidence, praman for this fact from the very oldest, because all the scriptures are eternal, but historically they manifest in a chronology. But in the Rig Veda, there it is said, Om Asya Jananto Nama Chitvidvikta Nama Aste Vishnu Sumatim Vajavahe Om Tat Sat. You should all know at least one mantra of the Rig Veda. It's very, very important. So the meaning is, Vishnu means, oh Vishnu. Asya. Nama. Oh, that means of your name. If there is, which is chit, transcendental and conscious. Viviktana means the repetition. By repeating your transcendental name. Jananto. Here there is a Jananto. So Jananto means, Janantaha means we persons who know you are a little bit. Here the rishis are saying, we are not completely ignorant. We know that your name is Vishnu and that you exist. We have some information about you, but very little. We have very little knowledge about you and the glories of your name, which is transcendental. But how wonderful it is. Mahaste, that your name is so glorious, Maha, that Viviktana means repeating. It means especially Aksha Abhyas. Abhyas, the repetition of the syllables. Aksha Abhyas, simply by repeating the syllables. Not by speculating, imagining, or anything. Only just aksha abhyas, repeating the syllables. Then, sumatim. Mati means one's consciousness. Sumati means pure consciousness which has a clear understanding. Bhajamahe means that we will. Bhajamahe means we will attain. So we will attain a full and beautiful realization of you, even though now our knowledge is small, simply by aksha abhyas, repetition of the syllables. So this is the glory of the name given in Rig Veda, and then the reason is given why. Om Tat Sat. Tat, the supreme truth, Tat, his name is Om. So Om Tat, the supreme truth is named Om. And Sat, here Sat means what we have said before, Swataha Siddha, self-existent. So, and self-existent implies what? Omnipotent. So that being who is self-existent, who is the creator, cannot be known by the created. The effects cannot know their cause. But the omnipotent cause can reveal himself to his effects, the living beings. So Om Tat Sat. Srila Jiva Goswami comments about the offense to the holy name. That Tadatavado Harinamni Kalpanam. Don't speculate. Harinamni Kalpanam. Don't speculate about the holy name. And minimize its glories. And don't minimize the scriptures, the Vedic scriptures. So the Vedic scriptures glorify the name and say simply repetition of the syllables will reveal everything. But we see it's very widely spread that devotees think, no, not possible. Just by saying the syllables, everything will be revealed. No, you have to do all these other things. And so, what are they doing? They are imagining that the glories of the holy name, as they're describing the scriptures, they're not true. So they're making the offense to the scriptures and also to the holy name and also doing kalpana. They're thinking the glories of the holy name in the scripture is an exaggeration. You see? So just this one point you have to fix. If you have the strong faith that just Ha, Re, Krish, Na, these syllables can reveal everything, then you can be free from Nama Pride. But if you don't believe that, then you're committing offense to the scripture. You're thinking that the glorification in the scripture is an exaggeration, and you will do vikalpa. Like this. So 3 offenses are there, and then you chant and you get no result. And then it becomes like a vicious cycle that you think, I'm chanting but I'm not getting the results. So there's no power in the name. But we have to chant the name, so there's something else that I have to do. You see? So the failure to experience the name then makes the person think, oh, this name just by itself has no power. I have to do something else, I have to do something else. I won't be able to realize it unless I speculate, unless I imagine, unless I have another mantra, unless I have these other 10 mantras, 12 mantras, 14 mantras, 24 mantras. I have to have 24 mantras. Otherwise I cannot realize Hare Krishna. It goes on and on and on. It becomes a complete chaos. And the person is trapped and he cannot get out. Why? Because he did not hear Nam Tattva from the Shastra. What is written in Srimad Bhagavatam and expressed by Jiva Goswami, our Goswamis, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So hearing is the first anchor of bhakti. First do Sravanam, after that you can do Kirtana. If a person has not deeply heard Nam Tattva, then he becomes, Aliban Jyotishaka, Stabdibhuta Kimikaka. Do you know that? Aliban Jyotishaka, Stabdibhuta Kimikaka? No, Prasita Presika. Chaiva, Sadvida, Sevakadama. There are 6 types of bogus disciples. So one of them is called Ban. Ban means an arrow. You know, arrow shoots off. Someone comes to Vaishnavas and they hear, once you chant the holy name of the Lord, this is the Yuga Dharma, and they hear this. Yes, of course, and they shoot off like an arrow and don't come back. Now I know everything. No, you have to stay and listen for some time. I think that many of you may have been practicing for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. But perhaps today you may have learned something new about the name. So, don't be like that. There are 6 types of bogus disciples. One is the arrow, he shoots off. Now I know everything. No, you have to sit and hear deeply and get a clear conception. What is Sravana? After hearing, then we can do actual kirtan. Otherwise, our kirtan will be an avas at the most. Mainly it will be aparat. So, Jiva Gosvami is saying, Ata eva Bhayad Dvaishado Sri Murti Sputiriva Sanketyad Avaktasya Muktidatvam Sruyate. Just as Sanketya, just as a person who, like Shishupal, out of fear, he was all the time Krishna, 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 because there was a prophecy that Krishna would kill him. So Shishupal was saying Krishna, 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 Krishna all the time. And by doing this, the four-armed form of Krishna with a chakra there was a spurti in his heart all the time. And thus he got liberated. So similarly, if someone chants Sanketya, Namavas, that name can give mukti, liberation. Now what is significant here is that a yogi, to go into trance, has to have ekagrata, complete one-pointedness of mind. So for that he does pranayama. Because the movements of mind, the chitta vrittis, are done by prana. So he tries to mechanically control them by slowing down the movement of prana, by breathing in, holding, and then exhaling. Purak, Rechak, Purak, Kumbhak and Rechak pranayama he's doing. And he's extending the time until his breath, it takes a whole day just to have one breathing in and breathing out. And when the prana is slowed down so much, because prana is rajas, then the mind becomes very sattvic and very steady. So in this way, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, it comes into a stage of concentration, then dhyan, meditation, and then trance. So he's slowly going into a trance by mechanical means. And then, when he's deeply in the trance, in the, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of yogic trance. So in the second level, that is called Nirvitak, Sampragyata Samadhi. Then he sees the form of Paramatma. But here, Srila Jiva Goswami's part is making this statement that look at Shishupal. Was he doing pranayama? Was he in a trance? No. His mind was completely disturbed. He had fear. He He had envy. So fear and envy are turbulence in the mind. But still, saying the name of Krishna again and again and again, there was a spurti. So the wonderful thing about the path of bhakti and the holy name is even a person who has not attained the state of perfect yogic control of their mind, if somehow or other they absorbed in a sambandha, a relation, like his relationship is one of hatred and envy. If you can somehow be absorbed in a relationship with Krishna and chant, then spurti can come. From Namabhas, Sarna Namabhas. So Jiva Gosvami gives a verse from the Brahma Purana. If one continuously chants Hari's name, even in a state of mental agitation or anger, he'll definitely become free from bondage and attain liberation, just like Shishupal, the king of Chedi. Similarly, if one directly contacts the holy name even once, his material existence is destroyed, just as if he had witnessed the Lord directly. So Ajamil, he wasn't freed from all karma when he called the name of Narayan at the last moment of his life. All karma was destroyed the first time he said Narayan. When his son was born, and they were thinking of what name should I give him, and he said, his name will be Narayan. That name destroyed all his karma, past, present and future. Though it was not apparent to him at that time, it did not become apparent until when the Yamadutas came to take him away and he called Narayan. Then he realized that he'd been liberated, because some shape of his karma it wasn't actual karma that could bind him, but some shape was there. So even after that he continued sinning. So sinning means we have karma. But Namabhas destroys all sins, but some shape was there. So even though he was sinning, his sinning was not really like karma, it was just like the biting of a snake whose teeth have been removed. It's called the abhyas, only purva abhyas. The snake has no teeth and no poison, but he still goes like this. Why? Because of previous habit. So out of previous habit he was still sinning, but he did not have any karma that was binding, and he discovered that at the last moment of his life. So the name of Sri Krishna is directly the Supreme Lord himself. Oh, now it's over. So we'll continue. I wanted to begin Paramatma Sandarbha, but this is Bhagavat Sandarbha. Bhagavat. Right? So this Sandarbha is about Bhagavat. But it has to include Nam Tattva. Because Bhagavan and his Nam are not different. And so because this Nam Tattva is very, very important, what I'm saying, you should take it into your heart, all these important verses, and everywhere you go, tell Nam Tattva, Nam Tattva, Nam Tattva. This will be service to Nam. When we serve Nam and glorify Him, then if we have committed some offenses before, then Nam thinks, oh, okay. And He will forgive offenses also. So glorify the holy name everywhere. And you will gradually become free from the effects of Nama Prad, and then Chachiti Pratikta. The immediate realization will come. Sri Harinam Prabhu Ki